fashionably late. I think that's appropriate for our hobo cop here. Wasn't sure what I wanted to stream today. I've sort of got things set up for painting and all that, but like I mentioned, the computer is going to be going in for repairs, so I didn't want to do anything too taxing on it. Yeah, and right now things are kind of a mess, so painting will resume as soon as I get my computer back, unfortunately. Until then, I'm going to be running on a different laptop, which might mean that we're doing PS4 games. We'll see about that. Maybe doing some older games, I don't know. With the PlayStation Store shutting down for the Vita, the PlayStation 3, and the PSP, that means that I'm going to be looking around to see if there's any of those kind of games that I need to pick up before that store shuts down. I can tell you there's a handful I've thought about already. I do have a Vita. In fact, I have it plugged in back here behind me because I haven't used it in months. But when there were still games coming out for it, I was using it pretty regularly. I really like the Vita as a console. I think it was great. It's unfortunate that it didn't take off because I liked it a lot better in the long run than the DS. I found much more use out of it. There were a ton of games that I discovered through the Vita that I would not have played otherwise. And there was a period of time in which I was keeping up weekly with Vita releases, where I was going down to the GameStop and buying a Vita game every week. Obviously that no longer happens. That has not happened for a couple years now, but it was a great console, and so I probably would like to do something Vita related. There are a couple of physical exclusives that I have not picked up, so I might have to do that. Probably digital at this point, because the physical versions are becoming very rare. Stuff like Shattered Memories, Silent Hill, the Uncharted game that is Vita exclusive. There was Little Deviants, which is kind of a puzzle platformy thing, but it requires specifically the use of the Vita back screen, because the back touch screen, the way the game would work is you have your flat plane, and it works like Monkey Ball, only when you tap the back screen, that moves like the mesh of the environment up, so you would roll around your characters by pressing and moving around on the back touchscreen. It was very weird, but it's one of the only games that I can think of that truly, absolutely requires the Vita in order to play. One of those weird, unique games. I'm not sure how they would replicate that otherwise, and I'm not sure how I would play that on stream. But that's a game that I have anyway. So there's some good Vita stuff out there. I'll have to think about what I want to actually do with that, because I do have a PlayStation TV, which I can use to stream the Vita to the TV. I don't think I can do screen mirroring or anything like that, but there's a way to you know, break the PlayStation TV to ruin its whitelist in order for you to play stuff like Little Deviants on it. So maybe I'll have to get one of those separately at some point, because I think mine is too far up to date in the firmware. But yeah, anyway, so I think I've stalled for enough time. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I figured I'd play a little more Disco Elysium because it's well, it's here on my computer, and I had fun with it on Thursday. See how much further I can get in it. I don't know. I don't really know how long it's going to take to beat. My understanding, based on the, you know, disconnected impressions that I got from people that I know that played it, I had a feeling going into this that I was going to die a lot, and that I was not going to be able to, like, I was going to have a real hard time, and that I was going to have to, like, be careful with things. but it doesn't seem to be the case, which I'm kind of pleased by. You know, if I save often enough, then I can kind of cheat some of that stuff. Not that I want to be save scumming everything, because you know you're constantly getting checks and failing things, and I don't want to cheat those checks necessarily. Yeah, and then with regards to the direction that the character's going, I enjoy a lot of that stuff. And truth be told, if I were not playing this on Twitch, there are probably some options that I would choose to see where they go. Such as, like, you know, I don't know, I'm considering taking our character in like what do you call it, what is it called, MGTOW variety, because it seems like that's an option for the character. Like, I'm trying to see which extremes I can push the character in without getting into topics that would mean I have to talk about them. You know, like I don't want to have to read the cops' dialogue options for certain ideologies, let's say. But I think MGTOW is one of those that's fun and funny, at least to a certain degree, and is also not going to get me banned if certain words show up in it. So, I mean, I feel like the game is smartly made enough that they know that you're going to be doing some of this stuff, so I don't have to worry too much about that. But even so, I wanted to be a little careful, and maybe I was a little too careful with trying to take the character out of some of those options. But I did also like the idea of playing a character who, in this intensely political world, is like obliviously apolitical. That's kind of fun. Obviously, I'm not trying to play it with my particular views in mind, not at all. I'm trying to formulate an idea for a character and implant it into this cop guy. But yeah, so I don't know. I'll try to push the boundaries of what the character can become, because I felt like that the idea that I had in my head of Hobocop of Hobocop barbarian that is afraid of ghosts is not it's not one of the angles that it seems to be allowing me to take it in. So I'm gonna take a little bit more of what the game's giving me and see where we go. So yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and get started here then. Load. And once again, I'm not going to be able to see any of you guys. I didn't figure out how the audience feature works. I don't know if that's even working at all. And last time I really didn't do anything with it. I don't know. The trouble for me too is that, like, you know, that's something that would be really nice if I had like 10 plus people regularly in the chat, but I recognize that I am not at that point, and that's fine, but it means that I have to decide things a little bit more quickly rather than talk through options. So, you know, I don't know specifically what the Twitch layout thing does. I hope it works, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so we ended last time where
the man before you is naked, but
we found this guy.
And white boots. His skin is marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. On his chest, a fading web of tattoos. The cargo belt used to hang him from the tree looks reinforced.
Anyway, so we spent the time examining everything, and now I've got a bunch of information, and now I've got to do other things. So the options I'm pretty sure I recall having available are, we need to get rid of the flashlight. We don't need that anymore. There was the RPG that we could do. Figure out what the code was for the password, and then There's the lady at the dock that I completely, avoided because I had seen a lot of her dialogue. And then there is like the south direction that I have not gone at all. And then I guess we opened up the gate to the north, but I didn't find a way to get over there. So yeah. And if you're wondering about the stream title for today, it is because if we look at its ideology, the Anti-Object Task Force is very appropriate for Welcome to the NHK. The protagonist that smokes a bunch of ambiguous narcotics and then believes that his furniture is telling him about the conspiracies of the world. I think that's great. And that the NHK is a system that is built to oppress the public and keep him locked in his room as a NEET. So docking reserved for residents of Rue de Sancus Lane. Take. What is that? Healing item. Okay. Oh, I have a lot of morale healing items, but not a whole lot of health healing items. What do I get on the boat? Your room in the Whirling isn't much bigger than this sloop. Okay. Hello.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling.
Hey, yeah.
Her green raincoat glistens with droplets.
Oh, okay, good. Good to hear. Because, yeah, I turned up the game, actually, the last couple times, because I realized that sometimes when I'm playing I have it turned down a little too much.
Good evening, officers. I'm Joyce.
Hello, Joyce.
I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
Joyce L, what does the L stand for? What exactly is the RCM? I remember hearing about it somewhere. What gave us away? Shake her hand. Don't shake her hand. Okay, so what does the L stand for?
My maiden name.
Okay, what gave us away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Oh, good to know. What's the RCM?
I meant you, the Revachol Citizens Militia, the police.
Okay. Well, it's dangerous times. You're on a boat. I don't think I can shake your hand.
Glad to see you here.
Okay.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
Okay.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just wink at you?
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
Oh, the game could be louder. Okay. Yeah, I know. Getting the balance has been something of a learning experience. Okay, yeah, let me turn up the game a bit. How about this much? We'll try it. Let's see if I get some dialogue here. You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Wait, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Okay, cool, great. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah. Just want to make sure. Let's see. Caillou, I thought we were still in Revachol. Still, I haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around here or understood about that boat of yours. Let's do that.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Oh, you've been watching me.
That motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial hub.
Is that supposed to be Maggie Smith? I don't know.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
She's very proper. Do you have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
Pleasure craft, you say?
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles.
Oh.
Qualified pleasure craft operator. So charming. Where's the damn license?
Oh, yeah. Aggressive cop. Bad cop.
I just renewed its safety inspection last month, officers. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one, but two insulindic regattas. Even finished once.
Press? No press. Still need to see a license, ma'am.
Actually, you don't.
Actually, I don't. Pretty sure I do. I police.
It is a little known fact among those who police that the Wayfarer Act specifically denies the RCM the authority to demand anyone's operator license.
Okay. How exactly little known? Exactly how little known? More like the anarchy impact, in my opinion. So we can't pull over random civilians and demand their papers? That's weak. Makes sense, I guess. I mean, look at me. Okay, forget the stupid Wayfarer Act. I had another question. Let's do. Let's see. I think we're kind of going weird with
Unless
this.
it's their passport. No. Do you want to ask for the lady's passport?
No need.
Of course. Any more questions about the boat, sir?
Got a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
Okay, but what kind of boat
It's
is
a
it?
pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
Okay.
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I could tell. Mm-hmm.
Good.
Oh. Tell me about Wild Pines. Tell me about the strike, the lynching, the tattoos. You seem rich. Can I have some money?
Is what you want
To say.
but it isn't that easy, is it?
What? Why not?
Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub.
What hair?
A well-kempt, yet tastefully short bob of dark hair.
Tastefully short.
Despite the first hints of grey, she's elected to keep it au natural, shaped into a permanent wave, late 40s style, positively statuesque, while dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry, wealth and all its possibilities.
Yeah, so?
Now look at you, you misery-clad simian, barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead, and your underwear feels uncomfortable.
Or you can't say much about my pants because I'm not wearing any.
Poor as balls.
Yeah.
You can't ask this person for money. You're too...
Ashamed? I'm not ashamed. What is this feeling? I've never felt it before. I'm a goddamn working man. I'm not ashamed of that, to shake this leech for some dough, as I should be for even considering it. This is a woman and I'm a man. Oh. Yes, I should make my own goddamn money by now. Okay, are we going MGTOW? I think we might be going MGTOW.
Yes, you should be able to take care of yourself. Not grovel at her beautiful feet, dishonoring yourself and your organization with this request.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
Okay. Oh, I have a low chance of actually asking her for money. Well, we'll try that in a second, but, tell me about this place. What do you do?
What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
So what do they do?
Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
Do they have a lot of money?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
A billion?
What exactly is a billion? We can't count. Wow. What's it? I thought Wild Pines was supposed to be big time. Numbers like that mean nothing to me. The money I owe is so much less than that. What exactly is a billion?
It's a number, officer. A big one.
What's it made of?
It's made of 1,000 millions. A million is made of 1,000 thousands.
Wow.
Is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
Where does Wild Pines get all those billions?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when Pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lomantang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
Okay. What does such a huge system want with a place like this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
8% of all cargo in the world? That's quite the endeavor indeed. Or you don't keep it moving, the workers do, the company has nothing to do with them. Okay. Well, the thing is I don't think our character is very smart, so I think we're gonna go with that's all. What can you tell me about this strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
Wait, what if I want to hear about trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Elements. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
An octopus? I will slay it.
It's only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own.
What the man means is that the Emergencies Act and the RCM both get their authority from the coalition government.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
What's your role in this?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
Okay.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Oh yeah, that guy I punched. Oh, you mean him?
Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead.
So it's connected.
Yes, I believe there is a connection, but that's a subject for later.
Okay. How were the talks going before that?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Okay. What happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it?
Yes.
Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Cool. Not cool. Okay then. Cool.
Yes. Extremely. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Okay, so I'm starting to get an idea of where this lady comes from. What are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes, every worker, a member of the board.
I like it. I don't know what I think, what to think about that. Over-aggressive commie posturing. Seems like they have no idea about business. Forget it. I want to ask about something else about the strike. Oh, okay. So this is asking me to actually take a position here. I think I should have our character take a position. I don't know. I don't know. Not sure what to pick. I think let's see. So our character is going on the I am the law, which is a pretty authoritarian thing. But that doesn't mean that he has a position on this business thing, does it? Let's just ask something else.
She nods.
The scabs at the gate, did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the union refuses to?
Don't let her answer it herself.
Okay. Some of that degenerate dock worker lingo has rubbed off, it seems. Whoa. Okay, so we have to press her on this. Okay, well, let's go with that.
If these workers...
'Cause somebody gave me $1.
By Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet, at least.
Okay. I'm gonna go... I think I'm gonna say that this character is gonna, generally speaking, support the union insofar as one guy gave me $1. And the other side did not. Okay, tell me about this union boss, Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
If you were to prick it with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
Sounding like you're about to take a rapier to him. Is he that bad? He can't be that bad, or say nothing.
Oh, heavens,
yeah, fight.
no. We get along just fine. Yet, now that you mention it, I can't stop imagining that black treacle just dribbling down his double chin.
Is he that bad?
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
There are 2 of them?
Yes. Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over.
Okay.
It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see. A funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself, outside of him?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, Detective, if I may ask?
Oh no.
I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
an effective advocate for the rights of local working men? A giant leech sucking the life out of Revachol? Basically a socialist mob, or I prefer not to have an opinion on these things. Interesting. Okay, well, my character can go this route on this one. Yeah, let's go with that.
Of course, officer.
One more thing. You say something happened in the elections.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Uh-oh.
Disappear?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
This forewoman, her name?
It happened. Uh-oh. What was her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence. Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the Union's files.
Eerie.
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a Union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Okay, that's all I need to hear. Let's change the
Of
topic.
course. How else can I help?
Oh, I read that as that's all I need to hear instead of that's all I need here. and then looked at it as if it was wrong. Okay, what can you tell me about this?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
Okay, so she's kind of corpo, I guess.
The information I'm to
Or
share
maybe
with you is
just,
sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Or maybe she's just kind of against the Union because of those guys?
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Remember my partner told you I had recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My badge is related to that.
See. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
It's possible. After a night of heavy drinking, I lost all memory of my life and the world. I could have eaten it for all I know. I don't remember anything. This world, this city, nothing. Yes. Well, we're a little too prideful for that, so we're gonna go with I could have eaten it.
Oh dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Okay, let's try it. How do I negotiate my way out of this?
Feeling.
Failure.
Right the way.
Yes. But ma'am, I need to know. It's very important.
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
You don't understand. This is my main thing. This is the entirety of my existence.
Trust me, officer, I am fully committed to resolving this impasse. This isn't some side gig for me.
You have so much else. I only have this.
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail.
This boat, for example, and a home somewhere. I only have this case. Oh no. Morale gone down. Big failure. Whoops.
Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. Whatever noble intentions you once had as a police officer, it's eating them all up now.
I'm done. Nobody even likes
Yes,
me.
it can be difficult to be on the receiving end of so much distress.
Nothing you can say.
Okay, so that's just the death screen. Yeah.
Cop gives up.
Okay. Let's go back. Hopefully I don't have to repeat all of that. But it would mean retrying the check. Oh, yes it does. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. I do have morale healing items, so I will make sure to use that if that happens again. I died of a low opinion of myself. Let's get the healing item that's in here. Take. And we know about the boat. And we know about the other thing. So, not gonna worry about that. That's the boat. Let's talk.
Good evening, Officer Joyce L. Messier. I represent Peyton, my maiden name.
Okay, so let's just kind of blast through some of this.
I meant you, the Revachol Citizens Militia, the police.
Sure, let's shake her hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
Like steel, there is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
Okay.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a
She's
looting.
scary.
Anything I can do to assist the RCM in...
That is good to hear.
It happens quicker than a shooting star.
How interesting. I wish you were swift.
You're on a boat.
I am.
Not a lot of people on boats out
Of
here.
course there are.
Wait, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are on Lucario.
I thought we were in Revachol.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Lucario.
Haven't seen that many people on
I
boat.
haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, it's for crossing.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean.
Okay.
It's a machine for crossing
Name?
boats.
Okay, what kind of boat is it?
Pleasure craft.
What kind of boat is
19
it?
pacer. My slough, I like it.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
And the license.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain. Qualified pleasure craft operator.
Can I see the
I
license?
just renewed its safety inspection last month, officers. It is
What happened the other
complete.
time?
The other time, I would have finished the race were it not for an urgent work matter, much like the one I'm on now.
Okay, still need to see it.
The
Alright.
Wayfarer Act specifically denies the RCM the authority to demand anyone's operator license. It's a little known fact among us law officials.
How little known is this fact?
I was just being polite. Even school children know the
Oh.
Wayfarer Act.
Alright.
About the boat.
That's enough of the boat.
What we do.
What they do. Okay, so we did all this
Another
stuff.
subdivision deals with energy. I'm not at.
$1 billion?
Wow.
It's made of 1,000.
Wow.
A conglomerate the size of the wild. They stuck
Billions.
centuries of care, deliberation, and
Uh?
madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels. You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8%? There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must
15th
be accountable.
Indo
Thus, the
tribe.
entire
Okay.
system
I'll have to look at what that
Every
means.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm.
Everything.
What's the strike?
Right up to, but not including.
Trade
First,
secrets.
you'd have to repeal
An
the emergency
octopus.
Batch of trade in elements. That gives me the.
Yeah.
What demand?
But I am derailing us. You want to
What's your
know
role
about-
in this?
I believe
And how are the talks going?
they're not.
Wait.
Yep, we already
she
did
just
all that.
admitted
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter 20. Yes.
Yep,
Try
measure
the
head.
Measure head.
Strikes
Yes, I
connected.
believe there is a
Okay.
And when did you?
I arrived 3 weeks ago.
But the strike.
I wasn't the original negotiator here.
This isn't.
Heavens no. There have been.
Happened to Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told fuck off, midget. Gaumont is
okay
short of
then.
stature, you see. Yes. Extremely.
What are the
There are
demands?
leaflets everywhere. Every worker, a member of the board.
We're gonna go. Forget it. Want to ask someone else? Let's get into the gate.
Don't let her answer it herself.
Kind of gonna go the same way. I think. I was trying to decide if there was anything I wanted to change about what I said.
If these workers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet, at least. Everard Clare is a man, of course.
If you were to prick him with something sharp, you could see it oozing.
Oh, heavens, no. We get a... He is the most corrupt in... Yes, it's how they circumvent the term limits, you see. With a funny little... The débardeurs you organize...
A mob.
Refreshing and...
Yep,
you're
we got
a
all
detective,
that stuff.
If I may ask. I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the débardeurs union is...
Effective advocate. I'm still kind of tied to the idea that our character's too dumb to think about those
course,
things.
officer.
But let's see, because that seeing that there was one of those options later made me more tied to that idea.
I'm glad you asked. There was...
Disappear.
Yes.
This forewoman, her name?
Yep.
Sad, downright haunting. The point of the...
Thank you for your concern. ma'am.
Okay.
We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I...
Can you tell me of the lynching?
Information I'm to share with you.
Of course, ma'am. And this is my.
How curious. Why is that? I see.
Okay.
Oh dear.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but
Of course, I sympathize. But I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Okay, let's try the check again. Here we go.
Feelings.
Failure.
Guide the way.
Okay. I need to know about the lynching. It's very important to me.
assure you,
That's all I got.
This is no small matter for me either.
This is the
All share
entirety
responsibility
of my
in the farming
existence.
situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail above her.
Officer,
Okay, we healed. There's only this coast, and this case is what I will be known by. I don't remember anything.
you know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
Oh,
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts,
How
you're
about-
still getting it.
an expression.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible. The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbour. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Okay. Good, that'll give me a chance to check out this ideology. Do I have any points to level up here? I guess not. Let's check out what's in the brain. 15th Indotrime. Wild Pines, Feld, Coupri, Tricentennial, Villiers, and LaSalle. Names of Revachol and Indo tribes spring into your head, set loose at the mention of Wild Pines. Royal monopolies, octopuses, and swordfish, most of them gone now. YBP, Expander, Saint Baptiste, Brightest Star, LUM, Resplendent, East Insulindic, Welter, And El Cassette. But isn't one missing? Wait, no, there were only 14. Then why do you feel like there was a 15th? Okay. 5 hours. Alright, where do we put this? Let's get rid of Hobo Cop. Oh, I get more money, though. I want money. And this is pain threshold. All endurance checks are unlocked. I don't know what that is. So, okay, the learning cap for endurance is up. I do like endurance a lot. I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to research that one right now. I'm not sure what that one's trying to be. So I guess we'll just wait on that one. We'll talk to this guy. How's it going, Kim?